Well, hello everyone. For part 2 of my cottage tour, make sure to stay to the very end because I've made kind of a major decision that a lot of you have been asking me about, and I'll share the answer to that riveting question at the end of this video. Well, we broke this up into 2 parts because I was probably just wearing you into a bloody nub. But I really wanted to share with you. I promised to show you all of the details and how it came together and how so much of it can be done very inexpensively. Some of you have asked, I got these at Anthropology, by the way, so if you ask, and I will try to find a link. So now let's go off of the kitchen and into probably the only kind of hallway. I don't even think of it as a hallway in the house. And this is just a brilliant space planning thing because it is an area that's large enough that I can use for pieces of furniture with storage in them, but that also then serves as kind of a portal to other different rooms. So first of all,
let's start over here since I'm here.
Okay, so this, I have had this, I love campaign furniture, and I've had this chest of drawers forever. It lived at the top of the stairs at the other house, and I just love it.
Beautiful piece.
This is a real retro ashtray. And we don't smoke, but it's here as an homage to my grandparents to whom it belonged, and also because I just love the way, love the way it looks with the lamp here, and then with the orange that's really captured from the painting. A lot of you wanted to know where I got this very thin console table. And I found this, I got it online, and does it look like it's been custom made for this space?
It does kind of, yeah, right.
It just really brilliantly fits this space. I love it. And it's very, very narrow, so it doesn't in any way impede passage into the bedroom, but it also kind of fills what would otherwise just be a blank wall here. And it's also a place where you can just kind of set stuff down as you need to, as you come and go. This is another example of where a candle that before it was lit, I should have trimmed the wick. So, no, the party's not over. We've got more to look at, but I am going to blow those out.
Safety first.
Safety first. The rugs I had at the other house, and then in the bedroom, this is the same rug that is in the parlor. So I believe I didn't have to modify this rug. I brought it from the other house. It fit in here really, really well. The chest of drawers had been in the guest bedroom, or what used to be the boys' old bedroom when they were growing up. And the candle holder is a thrifted find. Canyon de Chez is just a beloved piece of artwork. And then something that has also been, everybody asks about, including my kiddos, and that's these battery-operated painting lights. Including my kiddos. Mom put those on our...
Watch the channel, kids.
Watch the channel. Where did I get those? So that will be on their Christmas list, I am sure. And then
this guy's still going, or is this what's...
Well, I did... Oh, I should tell you about this. So we did a video of Phoebe putting together this orchid arrangement. We did it in January, and it was only 2 weeks ago that I had to switch out the orchids, and I never watered them. That's how well cared for they were at Calvert's. Wow. And I just loved the way this looks, so I replaced them with white ones, and I think it looks really beautiful. It gets lots of bright light. The other pieces in here are things that we just had, that we brought from the old house. I do, yes, if you will ask, I still love my birch mattress. Would get it again in a heartbeat. Just love it, and I love the fact that I put it up on top of box springs, so it makes this room look like it's got kind of kind of a Eurasian vibe to it. I hate the word colonial, but I love the way it looks, kind of an East Indian vibe. And then the other pieces I just had all of the shades, I showed you those before. All of the shades I bought online, and I had somebody just come and hang them for me. Some of them are a little bit askew. These prints I got at Mockingbird Manor. I think I got the entire set for maybe $45. I've had those for years. And then the other pieces in here belong to my second mom. The table, the blanket rack, those were pieces that I had, and we just made work here. And I'm still doing a little bit of furniture shuffling because a piece of furniture doesn't immediately find its home. But I think that at least for now, that's what I love about pieces that are portable. At least for now, they are here, and I'm content with where they are. And the two bedside tables that don't match, one is actually a small desk. I got these at a secondhand store.
You guys are at Stonehenge there, huh?
Yeah, we're at Stonehenge there. Here's my beautiful family. My beautiful boys. This is going to make me cry. My beautiful boys when they were little, standing in front of the great big oak tree.
That the thing was made out of.
That the bowl was made out of, yes. Now, the bathroom, I'll show you this. The bathroom can be closed off because at one time it was a porch. It can be closed off for privacy. It is still in a state of transition because I've got some decorative touches that are still in the works, and we're waiting to decide on them. But finally, if you have followed along for any length of time, you remember lights, camera action.
Boom, there we go.
Yeah, you may remember that I had a hard time getting hot water to my bathtub, but that was remedied. Don't pay attention to my shower because,
there we go.
Because I have to laugh sometimes. We really do live here. And so those people sometimes make comment, oh, it'd look better if that wasn't in the background or if that wasn't. Well, we do live here. Yeah. And it is.
Just remember.
Yeah, it is not always perfect. But the big thing I'm waiting on here is a huge grid, gallery wall grid of photos by my dear friend Deborah. And I'm deciding on which of her photographs I want to use. So we're working through that. This is just a glimpse at some of them, but this entire wall will be filled with them. And yes, this is that, I had to put this here as kind of a touch point to the past tour because this is something that I found thrifted.
I remember what it looked like before.
Yeah, and periodically, do I light the candelabra when I take a bath? You bet I do. Because why wouldn't I?
Why not, right?
Yes, why wouldn't I? And then there's great light in here.
Look at that beautiful look outside.
Yes, look at that view outside.
All the colors out there.
Oh, and there was great debate over whether or not you could see inside at night, even with the shade down. Mm-hmm. But no, you cannot see in at night. And someone also said, well, Linda, when you're outside, it's white, and the white doesn't really look good when the shade is down. You should change it to black. Well, that might get really hot. And also, these are not inexpensive to put in these kind of battery-operated fancy shades.
Fancy.
So I just need to remember, it's one thing Stuart and I have to remember when we shoot is to always put the blind up, because it really does make a huge difference when you're shooting back towards the cottage. Really makes a big difference. So there are just other appointments that need to be made in here, but I did get a chair online so that after I get out of the tub, I can lather on my oils and beauty potions and things like that. So we love the bathroom, and I sometimes, yes, feel like I'm at a resort when I am in there. So, but it's not all relaxation and play and bathing to candlelight, Stuart. Sometimes you have to work. And so When I have to work, I come to my wonderful office where I can work at my desk and I can look out the window and see the kids go
I had to get the light so it
to and from school. It's got, again, great light in here.
And this is the path they walk.
And then, oh yes, it is the path that they walk. And then all of my gardening
Look
books.
at that. That's a pretty look.
What's that?
Looking down. Have you named this walkway yet?
Well, I need to name that walkway.
Yeah.
It will probably, yes, it will probably be the Great White Way or something, because all of that is white along there, white encore azaleas and white hydrangeas. And then these are my IKEA bookshelves that I filled with books that I do refer to all of the time. And I've asked you this question before, but I'm going to ask it again because I find it so telling and so fascinating. How do you organize your library? How do you organize your books? Do you color coordinate them? If you have a true library, do you categorize them by topic, geographically, by genre, or whatever? And I'm speaking as somebody who is really a bibliophile, and Hubs and I have way too many books. We got rid of a lot of them, but these are some of my favorite ones.
Well, color coordinating books is a cool thing to me.
Well, yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun. It might seem
Deborah's was really neat. Wasn't it Deborah?
Yeah, Deborah really does it. My friend Deborah, who's the
really
great
cool.
photographer, she really does it. But I think it's fun. It's
cool.
just a fun
It
thing
looks
to do.
really neat, yeah.
Yeah, it costs nothing.
Yeah,
it costs nothing, and decorating can be fun. And then whatever is kind of my book muse for the moment or for the week is typically in this book stand right here. And right now, I am just musing on this image in this book. But next week, it might be another image. And this is a way where you really use... There's some, look out there. There's some people waving to us while we're shooting. Yeah, yeah. They know to always drive. People drive by so slowly, just in case. But I can have a book out here for easy reference, and sometimes it's not always images. Sometimes I read poetry or I read different things, and I will have it there for reference if it's something that I really want to cogitate on. It's kind of fun for me. And then my messy bulletin board, we're not even going to really look at it. Uh-oh. But I'm still in the process of this.
She told us not to. We're doing it anyway.
And we're doing it anyway because I'm really wanting it to be more functional, where I really post our upcoming ideas.
Yes,
and I have... and it's still a work in progress. It's still a work in progress.
I think it's always a work in progress.
Everything
right?
is always a work in progress. Yes, everything is a work in progress. So, and this is where I keep. This is also. I've got a little private bulletin board back here, which you don't see, where I keep. Sometimes.
I kind of see it.
Well, I said it was private, Stuart. It's private. Where sometimes I post some of the letters and messages that you give me that really inspire me. And if I'm having a bad day, I can just look at one of those, and you guys.
It works both ways, doesn't it? Yeah.
Pump me up. So, gosh, Stuart, we would be remiss if we did not show the brilliant, this brilliant.
It's pretty cool.
Switch plate.
I'm trying to get where I can see the color difference in
that my friend
the
Jan.
topiary,
that my friend Jan made for me. Love you, Jan. Love you, darling. And I just hung that here recently. So there you go. So this is my workspace. If you see anything and you want a source for it, to the best of my ability, I got this from Home Depot. Just the perfect size, and I really was channeling things that would match the lightwood floors, which I have really loved. I think the rug I bought online years ago, and I bought these little stools also online, because sometimes Stuart will tell you when we're both working on the computer or whatever, one of us, usually me, can be on a
places to
stool or
sit.
whatever. It gives more places to sit, or when we have meetings in here. So they're functional, and I think they're kind of cute. So now let's go to what I consider more my husband's part of the house that people are always kind of surprised. It was funny to me, Stuart, the other day when Leah was here, I thought she'd gotten a complete tour of the cottage, and she hadn't. And so when we went to the back, she was going, oh my gosh, I didn't know any of this was back here. So let's go back there. Well, this week I'm reflecting back on what I learned, and it was very much informed by the fabulous trip that we took to Virginia for my son Johnny's wedding. It was just incredible. And it's not something that I didn't already know, but let's just say it was a really, really wonderful, beautiful reminder. And that is the importance of showing up. Showing up for people for different occasions, be they big or small, to be a good friend, to be supportive, to demonstrate your love for those people, and they then in kind will feel compelled to demonstrate their love for you, even though sometimes it's kind of inconvenient, or you have to travel, or you sometimes may not be feeling up to it, and nevertheless, you always feel better after you make the effort. And it's one thing that I'm so proud that my parents, and maybe even more importantly, my brothers and sisters instilled in me, and that is the value of showing up. And even if you can't show up in person, there are different ways that you can show up virtually, with a phone call, with a message, with a letter, with even word of mouth. Please let someone know that you're thinking about them. And so I think that when I was looking at the tremendous gathering there in the beautiful Virginia horse country and the rolling hills of the Virginia countryside, and the wedding was just, there were so many people from literally all around the world, so many different types of people. I don't know how many languages were spoken. It was absolutely incredible, and it very much demonstrated how important the couple was to those of us who were there in attendance from literally all around the world. And so next time, if you're like me and you feel a little bit lazy, or you're kind of a homebody and you're thinking, oh, do I really want to drag myself out in the heat or in the cold? Then just remind yourself of the importance of showing up. So the back of the house is more Hub's area. It is where he has his closet, his bathroom, all of that kind of thing. He tends to be a little bit less tidy than I am. So to save our marriage, he is in a different, he kind of keeps that stuff in a different space. So this is our guest bedroom. And if I could find another place for the treadmill, I would, but heretofore I have not. So it houses the treadmill. We do have a TV in here so that we can exercise and walk simultaneously. This room has its own guest bath, which is still in the process of being set up. We put black IKEA bookcases in here. The drapes, and you'll notice this has a real masculine vibe. And that's predominantly because most of the people that are in here are men. So if Hubs is in the doghouse, gets kicked out, he has to sleep in here. But my boys, when they come to visit, they stay in here with their brides, but a lot of times they're here by themselves. And so this room has a little bit more of a masculine vibe, and it's also where my husband can have many of his books and showcase some of his things, his fly fishing interest and other things that are important to him.
And that's where Stuart comes to steal the guitar when
And
Linda's
Stuart
taking too
comes
long.
to play the guitar when I am being tardy and it's taking me too long to get things set up. There's a guitar here and Stuart sits down and he plays us on and off. Now I am going to show you these great lamps because I did get these
Oh,
online.
those are cool. I didn't even notice them.
And no, these are great. They're just touch on
It's
and
hollow?
off.
It's not like glass behind it? It's on wires?
This is just,
Sorry,
they are hollow.
I gotta come see. It's
Yeah,
neat looking.
no, they are just hollow. This is just woven. This is just woven.
That's pretty cool.
And then they're touch on and off. But more importantly, at their base, now I can't find it, but at their base in the back, look at this, Stuart.
Oh, USB chargers.
There's USB chargers.
Like the hotels.
So the guests, yes. So when they come, the kiddos.
Is there room service to go with the
There's
USB
not room
chargers?
service to go with it. Though I take that back. When my boys come, I spoil them rotten. So yes, I guess sometimes it does come with room service. But they don't then have to ask me for a charger
it's
or
ready to
whatever.
go.
They immediately know where they can hook up their charger so they don't steal mine. So this is the guest bedroom. And then this room, whose composition was probably the most controversial when we first moved in, because it was all about the TV. Because this is when we're watching dedicated TV, which is not very often. We're not big TV watchers. Then we watch it in here. And there was great controversy about where to put the TV so that I didn't want it above the mantle, though we talked about it. We talked about just different placements of it. And let's just say if you want to find out about that, go back and watch a previous video we had with my friend John Turman. But this proved to be just the perfect spot because everybody can kind of hang out in here and watch whatever it is they want to watch. But also because you can see that there is a glare here. And some of you were concerned about that. I don't remember ever watching during the day when glare has been a problem. That just so it's a non-issue. And I guess if there is a glare, then you just would move to another couch where the glare wasn't so intense. If we're watching, I guess maybe football in the fall or sports or things.
Life.
Yeah. So I just so it just wasn't. It was just not an issue. My friend John helped us compose the gallery wall that I just love,
It's really well done, yeah.
which is a nod to our love for travel, to my husband's geographical literacy, to our love of some of the places we've been. We honeymooned in Africa, things like that. And then it's also just got kind of a Selena Crawford, Jill Sharp, Ralph Lauren, Ernest Hemingway vibe, which we both love and which my husband feels very comfortable in. And there's also a lot of references also to Native American culture.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I ever noticed you got that hung up over there.
Yeah, we hung that up.
I remember a long time ago when we were about to.
You may remember that there was some question about where to hang the other beaded Indian pieces above it. And it just never looked right to me until I started playing around with it. And now it looks on antlers wings or something like that.
It's really neat because my eye wasn't drawn to it, but I know what it is and I know
how it's
just
hung.
so
It's
neat that it's there and you
it's-
don't necessarily see it right off the
Right.
bat.
It's really pretty incredible. And then the books in here are books that my husband is somewhat of an anthropologist and a pre-Columbian historian. So a lot of those books are in here and a lot of his really, really special things. And I think I referenced that my brother-in-law was a naturalist, and before anybody gets mad, he had friends that worked at the San Francisco Zoo, and when animals would expire or things like that, then they preserved some of the skins and some of the skulls, and that's how he acquired them. Was not a hunter, and he didn't go out and do that. But he was a great traveler. So there's that. It is a wood-burning fireplace. I don't spend a lot of time in this room, partly because it's a room for sitting, I'm always outside, and I imagine I'll spend more time in it when the back garden is finished. But but I don't sit very often, and I don't watch TV very often, so there's not a lot of reasons for me to be in this room. I also think of it more as a fall and a winter room, because it's got a wood-burning fireplace, and I noticed that in the winter we did use it a lot more. Now, my husband, he hangs out in here all of the time. So it's got his dad.
This is where I go to find him when I need to
Oh,
find him.
yeah. It's got his dad chair here, and this is where he really likes to hang out and to nap and things like that. But I really just love it. I've always loved the Ralph Lauren aesthetic. And as you can see, and I think that it kind of speaks to that, to our level of travel and things. And Stuart, you can get a glimpse of the outdoor garden, though we're making progress, at least in the planning stages.
Gotta love those big windows.
We're making progress, and we do have new windows ordered, so that they're casement windows that we'll be able to roll open, because my husband really likes to feel fresh air, that we will roll open in the fall, when I anticipate the garden in the back will be just about finished. But we're still playing with that, and it's kind of a holy mess right now, but that's okay, because it's supposed to get up in the hundreds next week, Stuart. So I think I'm gonna hold off on any more planting until it cools down a bit. And when it does cool down, this is where we will really be hanging. Some keys to this look, I think, are the dark woods with the contrast of the white walls. I love the fact that there's greenery in here. There were a number of places in Singapore that we went to that had this vibe, the Raffles Hotel being one of them. So I love the greenery in here. I love like the orchids. This fabulous basket I got is an African basket, but I got it at Mockingbird Manor. And then this is just a very masculine room, and this is where we have our bar. So I guess this is what do you call where the men will go and have their brandy and their cigars or whatever in the evening? That's kind of this vibe, though we women crash it whenever we want to. So that is the second half of the cottage. I'm sorry we had to kind of break it up into two different parts, but let me know your thoughts if you think it came together well, what you like, even what you don't like. I've often said that there's just many, many forms of beauty, and the most important thing is that it's a form of beauty that appears to you. The cottage contains many of our signature touches, my love of topiary, my love of greenery, our love of travel, just things, things of that nature, lots of photographs. The two rooms that are still works in progress are the back bathroom off of the guest bedroom and my laundry room, which I will reveal to you in July. Right now, don't reveal it now.
They can kind of see it, right?
It just looks like a big closet now. It's where I stashed a bunch of stuff so we could do the shoot.
I was like, oh crap, I'm showing.
Yeah, don't show it, Stuart. But I will reveal that to you once I get the built-ins in place and all of that. But I will also end on this note. At almost every juncture along the way, at various decision points, I went with something that was simpler, that was more streamlined, and that was less. And so here's some big news that I'm going to reveal now. And that is something that I've decided, a big decision that I made. I am not going to get a greenhouse. I've decided that the back is just too small for it. It would be one more thing for me to take care of. I don't have the space to do it justice. And I think I can live without it. I can continue to take advantage of my friend that does have a greenhouse. And the other thing is a lot of things at my other home I couldn't bring in the winter because it was so dark. In this house I have so much better light that some of these plants I'll be able to bring in the winter.
That's true.
But I have decided that it was more important for me to have the outdoor area in the back be very much an outdoor large living room for entertaining and things, and I will just play in a greenhouse kind of way in other areas. So that is my big decision that I made, and there you go. I wanted to share it with you here first. Thanks for taking this tour with me. You guys have a great week.